Imagine your phone ringing, and instead of the usual unknown number or bland caller ID, you instantly see why someone is calling you, or even that it's urgent enough to break through Do Not Disturb. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. That's exactly the kind of twist Google seems to be working on, and honestly, it might be the most meaningful update to the phone app in years. What's interesting here is that this feature isn't coming from a big announcement or a flashy event. It was uncovered quietly, tucked inside lines of code in the beta version of the Phone by Google app. And it points to something Google is calling expressive calling. The idea is simple. Before you even pick up the phone, you get context. Not in a creepy AI way, just a small, helpful nudge that tells you why someone is reaching out, or even that it's urgent enough to break through Do Not Disturb. And that matters because phone calls have become awkward. Most of us don't enjoy picking up a call without knowing the reason. Is it a quick question? Is something wrong? Is it just someone wanting to talk when you're in the middle of something? That hesitation is exactly what this feature tries to remove. It gives the caller a way to signal the intention of their call, and it gives the receiver a reason to actually pick up. Here's how it works, based on what's been discovered so far. When you place a call using expressive calling, you can tag it with a short reason. Google has 4 preset options: catch up, news to share, quick question, and it's urgent. And that last one is where things get really interesting. If you select it's urgent, the person you're calling gets more than just a label. They hear a sound on their end, and even if they have Do Not Disturb switched on, the call can break through and ring anyway. That's a bold move, and a potentially life-saving one, because it gives you a direct way to signal that something needs immediate attention. The system even goes a step further. If the person doesn't answer an urgent call, they'll receive a missed urgent call notification. So even if they step away or silence the phone, they'll know it wasn't a casual attempt to reach them. For everything to work, the phone app does need SMS permission, likely because it uses a direct message to deliver that call context. But overall, the feature seems designed to be lightweight, simple, and genuinely helpful. Now, there's another angle here that's easy to miss: exclusivity. This feature looks like it may be limited to Pixel devices if it ever officially rolls out. And that tracks with how Google has been positioning Pixel lately, adding small but meaningful features that make everyday interaction smoother. They're not all headline-grabbing upgrades, but when you add them up, they make the Pixel experience feel more thoughtful and more personal. Expressive calling fits that strategy perfectly. There's also the possibility that Google never ships this at all. Sometimes these test features just stay in the code and never make it to a final release. But given how practical this seems, it wouldn't be surprising if it shows up with a future Pixel update. It solves a real problem: the communication gap that happens when someone calls you with something important, but you're too busy, distracted, or skeptical of unknown calls to pick up. Personally, this feels like one of those features that sounds small, but could have a big impact. Imagine getting a call from a family member late at night. Normally, you might ignore it, assume it's nothing urgent, or wait to call back. But if you see it's urgent, that changes everything. Or think about workplace situations, needing a quick answer, a confirmation, or a heads up. Being able to label calls could cut down the awkwardness of calling someone who isn't expecting it. And it might make calls feel just a bit more like messaging: clear, intentional, and context-rich. It also says something about where phone apps are headed. They've stayed mostly the same for years, even as messaging apps evolved with reactions, threading, voice notes, and previews. Phone calls never got that kind of leap forward. Expressive calling is Google hinting that calls don't have to stay boring or outdated. They can be smarter without being complicated. If this does land as a Pixel exclusive feature, it might actually become one of those subtle reasons people stick with Pixel. Not because it's flashy, but because it's practical. And honestly, in a world full of overhyped features, something that genuinely makes communication easier feels like a welcome change. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.